Nigeria, by extension, Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
In recent years, Nigeria's National Assembly has witnessed a growing number of lawmakers switching political parties, a process known as defection or cross-carpeting, now often carried out with little or no prior consultation with the constituent. These moves raise critical questions. What happens to the vote you cast? Do lawmakers still represent your interest? Is there any accountability? Now, understanding defection is essential for citizens to safeguard the power of their vote and protect the democratic integrity of the country. It's another episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name is Messi Eboko, and it's good to be on your screen this beautiful Monday morning. I trust you had a great weekend and you're doing awesome yourself. Well, today we're discussing defections in the National Assembly, what they mean for the vote, the voice, and the future of Nigerians. Unfortunately, the conversation for 2027 has already begun. I mean, even when we're not even sure whether we're going to be in 2027. Now, remember, the Ways is all about you. You are the why in the Ways. So join the conversation daily and add your voice. All you need to do is just head over to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, and invite your friends to join the show now. I'd like to also hear your thoughts when the phone lines are open. So what do you have to say about this topic? Whatever contribution you have via SMS or a phone call, it's okay to be part of the conversation. But always, I'd like to leave you to ponder on my quote for today. Politicians lack clear principles, cheaply stand for nothing but fall for anything that leads to power. And our comrade Isa Aremu is quoted on that one. We'll delve into this much later, but first off, I need to head off on the break. When I return, I'll tell you what I found in the news today. Please stay with me.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
You're still watching Ways, hashtag, what are you saying? Now, this is what I found in the news today. Now, if you remember vividly, 11 Benway Links passengers as at last week and their driver were kidnapped. Now, in Benway State, they have actually regained their freedom. That's because the police authorities swung into action. So the company confirmed the release in a statement that was yesterday by an officer. He said that 2 other passengers abducted during the same incident they've also been rescued. Well, Benway Links reported that the freed individuals appeared to be in good health and they would also undergo medical examination, counseling before reuniting with their families. Now, this is a big plus. Want to say thank you to the security personnel in Benway State, collaborative effort, and it's just a big one. I know a lot of people will say that it's their job. I mean, why do you say thank you to people who are doing their job already? But thank you. And it's just really, it gladdens my heart, and I'm sure it gladdens every other person's heart to know that they have actually regained their freedom. Well, away from that one, the head of Nigeria's anti-trafficking agency in Anambra State has warned that human trafficking is on the high. Now, she's really particularly concerned about young people deliberately having babies together just to sell them. The agency has also set up a task force after this discovery in rural areas where trafficking is very common, and is also working on educating the public about how traffickers actually operate. But to be very honest, this is very heartbreaking. So the question is, how did we even get here in the first place? Because it's already changing. The dynamics, the narrative is changing. So prior to this time, you would have people who are coerced, who are forced, not even knowing what they're going to do. They're just being forced. They're being sold out without knowing that this is going to be the case to, go have babies, not with their consent. I mean, the entire, we've seen that in movies that have been interpreted by Nollywood, and we've also, heard several reports. But this is taking a different dimension where, I mean, according to the agency, you now have people who are agreeing to make babies, all in the name of just coming together to sell the baby at the end of the day. This is really very saddening. It's also very commendable that the task force is setting up its operations across to educate the people about how traffickers also operate. But I think that it's just a failure at all levels. And all hands should be on deck, really. It's a failure. All hands will be on deck, because I don't even understand. How did we even get to that point where we now think that people come together to make babies and sell them? It's very inhuman. Well, that's it. And another one, a little bit not so sad, because it feels like we've just been talking about plus one good story. Now, this one says that the federal government has declared a state of emergency on the Suleja Mina Road. This is according to the Minister of Works, David Umahi. Now, it was made known during the weekend, during an inspection, blaming the poor abandoned work by, Salani Nigeria Limited. Umahi said that efforts to get the contractors to fix the road over a year failed. Governor Mohammed Bago had also raised the issue with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who ordered urgent intervention. He described the road as very terrible, causing delays of up to 7 hours and leading to deadly accidents. I'm really taken aback. I feel like this is total disrespect to the president himself. Because really, how do you even call on the president? You're calling on the president to do what? A contractor that you awarded the contract to has not lived up to expectation of delivering at a certain time. Really, who is this contractor? Right, I know that we mentioned the name, but really, who are there? And why should we be involving the president, really? It's a conversation that we need to have another time. But, I mean, if you want to take your time, ponder and think about it, it's not adding up. It doesn't really add up. So if you give a contractor, because before these contracts are awarded, then I'm sure that there's specification, I'm sure there's a timeline, I'm sure that, you know, all of the details are stated out. So how do we get to a point where it looks as though the contractors are not even listening, they have failed, and there's nothing that can be done, to a point that we have to call on the president himself to intervene, because who are these contractors? Well, that's the much that we can take at this point in time. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll delve into the crux of our conversation. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Well, many thanks for tuning in tonight and also staying tuned. If you're just tuning in, this is Ways, and tonight we're looking at defections. We're talking about the defections in the National Assembly and how it affects democratic right. To inform citizens about the impact of political defections in Nigeria's National Assembly, how it affects their democratic rights and representation, and what steps they can take to hold lawmakers accountable. And to tell us more about this is Mr. Itia Etabo. He's the Director of Strategy, African Center for Leadership and Strategy and Development. Thank you so much, Mr. Etabo, for joining us tonight. I hope I got the pronunciation of your name correctly.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Well, it seems as we're having a very poor connection from your end. Can you hear me, please? Well, I'm told that we have actually lost connection, but hopefully we have Mr. Etabo join us and to tell us more about all of this, what can be done, because you really get to a point. So this is, let's just have a quick chat about defections and how it happens. So usually, I'm not going to mention any political party. So usually you belong to a certain political party, and then you are part of that party. It gets to a point where internally you are projected as a candidate to vie for a certain position. Let's say the governor of a state. And so your party, Party A, puts you out and say, hey, eventually one of the party politics that goes in, there's elections, other persons are there, and then you are nominated or voted for, because there's usually an election, and then you emerge as a flag bearer. That's what's been called. So you now become the flag bearer for your party. Then you contest under this particular party. Now, usually, the people, you go out, canvass, and say that, oh, you're going to do X, Y, Z. You go about talking to the people, convince the people, and then based on the acceptance, even though that's a big question at the end of the day, because a lot of people believe that winning elections these days is not literally about the people's voice. It's not the will of the people. It's usually something different. So, but let's even assume that it was what it is. That you went on party A. Now, they saw you fit, they projected you as a flag bearer, and then you went ahead, they pushed you. And then when it got to the time for the elections, the general elections, you also have different parties. Do not forget, different parties. Now, all of these parties also have their various candidates, Party A, Party B, Party C, and what have you. They also show up. And in this particular state, when it's time for the elections, everybody come out. And then when the votes are counted, they find out that you from Party A score so much vote. That means the people believe in you, the people who've trusted you, who believe that you bring government closer to the people, development closer to the grassroots, and all of that will happen. I'm just citing an example for the governorship, really. I know we're talking about the National Assembly, but it's one and the same thing. And then 1 year into you being governor under this particular party, then you just wake up and you defect. You defect to Party E. You know, you just already defect. And then you just go away for whatever reason. The people that voted you into the system or the people that casted you did not even consult them, because when you wanted the vote, you went to those people to ask, give me votes, I will do this, I will do that, I'll do X, Y, Z. But when it was time for you to defect, did you go back to ask them, should I defect, should I not defect? Really, why do we even, why does that even happen, really? Because it's like, I want to liken it to the case of being married. So it's like saying, you're just here, you profess your love to this woman, you know, and you're the love of my life, you're everything, and this, I'll be with you forever. And then next thing, 2 seconds after, you're no longer the love of the person's life, you're moving over to another lagbaja that is available or whatever, you know. It's a lot, but I'm not the one to unpack all of this. I'm hoping that we would have our guests, because I'm not in the space to, you know, say all of this. I want to hear from Etabo. I'm hoping that he has joined us. Do we have Etabo back? Well, so in all of this, the big question we're asking is, does this, you know, when this happens, when people defect, when lawmakers defect, when governors defect, does it really now reflect the interest of the people? Because I'm sure that they saw all of these other parties before they voted you under a certain political parties, or political party, I beg your pardon. And again, what also informs the people to vote for a certain person, you know, under a certain political party? Now for the citizens, what exactly informs your decision to cast your vote for a certain candidate, a certain flag bearer in a certain political party? Because over the years, there's been an argument, over time, there's been an argument as to that political parties in Nigeria, our political parties, do not have ideologies. They don't have what you believe in. Like, there's really no ideology. There's nothing that's driving these parties, and that's why it's easy for people to defect. They don't believe in anything. So again, let's also bring it back to, you know, ourselves, and also to the political parties. Do you really have an ideology? Do you stand for anything? What do you even sell to the people? What exactly do you sell to them? Apart from we'll do road, we'll bring water, we'll do these ones. These are just basic things. Because if you go back to understanding the principle and the concept of government, these are just basic functions of government. It's like saying you have a father and a mother, you know? You're a parent. There's a father, there's a mother. They're just basic things. They're just natural. It is just natural that a father and a mother and a family, the normal family, will provide for the child. It is just basic. And so as much as it's also expected that the child should be very appreciative of the efforts of the parents, but it's natural. It is not something. So many a times, we see that when there's some construction, maybe the local government chairman of your local government or the governor of your state embarks on a certain project, then there's a lot of clapping. Everybody's clapping. Really? Why? We'll take a quick break now, and we'll hope to reconnect with our guests. And when we return, we'll delve straight into the crux of this conversation. Please stay with us.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
You're still watching Ways, and tonight we're talking about the impact of defections, political defections in our National Assembly, and how actually it affects democracy, development, and growth, and how the people, again, can hold leaders accountable or the elected representative accountable. And so, I mean, it's a... I ask myself, is it even possible to hold them accountable? So let's go to our leaders. Those are the lawmaking... those who are making the laws, the National Assembly, the State House of Assembly, and all of that. Now, usually, it's almost the same thing. So you vote for a certain political party. The question now I'm asking you is, why do you vote for the party that you vote for? Ask yourself. You don't need to answer me, but if you have an answer, And if you want to tell me, then you can join the conversation and send an SMS or WhatsApp to the number and the number to call. I'll read out that number, but let me continue to ask you, if you do have an answer, why do you support the officials that you support? Why do you cast your vote for those you cast your vote for? And when you casted your vote for red and the person now turns blue, how does that make you feel? What does it mean? Why do they do that? Now, over time, we've heard that it's because of, political crisis. When there's actually a political crisis or conflict in a certain political party, that's the major reason for defection. But again, I'll liken it to a family setting, a family structure that it is. So if we want to defect, let's say, my analogy tonight is amazing me myself. So I ask you now, the family that you're in, for every time you have a fight with your father and your mother, I know a lot of people have defected from their families, even though they are still there, but they are not there. But how many times do you have misunderstanding in the family? How many times do you have quarrel with your siblings, or you have a fight with your wife? We know that some other times people pack their bags and baggages, but it's usually not immediately, isn't it? So you hear that marriages have stayed for like 20 years, and then they pack up 35 years. Even though now it's not up to that. We're not talking about marriage, but we're just likening the scenario to what's happening. Because the excuse for defection is that there's internal crisis at the party level. So there's bickering, there's all of that, right? That's why people are leaving. So, but if we liken political parties to like family, the family setting. So, but how many times you have quarrels with your family? Do you just up and pack your bags and baggages and just move away? So why then is it so easy for people to just wake up, for elected representatives, for our officials to wake up and pack their bags and baggages and move away? Because you voted for a certain, you voted for a certain color, you voted for a certain number, A or B or 29, and then you wake up in the morning, they're now 30, they're now 55, very different from what is not even a number that you like. How does that make you feel? What exactly is going on? So, but again, the question is, we can hold them accountable. You can hold them accountable. Do you think it's possible for you to hold these elected officials accountable? Any sort of accountability? How can that be? For instance, when you have your lawmakers representing different constituencies, how many times after the elections do you get to have a one-on-one encounter? Or even if it's not a one-on-one encounter, but an indirect encounter. So I'd like to ask you again, how many constituency offices do we have in Nigeria? Do we have constituency offices in Nigeria? For all of those lawmakers that come around and tell you, oh, give me your vote, X, Y, Z, I'll do X, Y, Z, and all of that, I'll do this, I'll do that. I really don't even know what is being said, really, before votes are being casted, before you step out to go cast your vote. Do they say anything to you? Are you even bothered about what they said, or you're bothered about the color of the naira? What currency is coming? Is it blue? Is it green? Is it red? I don't remember the last time I saw red, but I'm sure that there's a red. So what exactly informs your choice? How do you feel when this actually happens? Can we hold our leaders accountable? We've heard the talks about not having ideology, but then again, can these political parties have ideology? What do they stand for? Because if we go back to our quote for today, you remember the quote for today that talks about politicians not standing for anything. They have no principles, and so therefore they fall for anything. For every other time, we're very also quick to compare ourselves to the developed world. When we want to look for policies that will strangulate the people, we make reference to the developed communities, the developed climb, and we say, oh, you look at what is happening in the US. The US also did this. When it comes to the one that concerns us, we don't see that. So let's look at the last election that happened in the United States. We saw what happened. The Democrats, the Republicans. As disgruntled as anyone will be, how many times have you seen anybody woken up to say, Kamala Harris did not make it, she didn't emerge as the president? Well, how many times have you seen, did you see her say she's defecting, she's going to join another political party and all of that? No. So why is our case different? Why is it just so easy for us to just, turn our backs and we just fall for anything? Do we also care about the people that we vote for? Or are we very concerned about our own interest? And then again, we also hear our lawmakers saying, no, it's not about our interest. It's not, we are here for the people. Are you really, really there for the people? I'm asking you. I'm just asking. Are you there for the people? Are you there for the constituents? Why is it so easy for you to just wake up and cross carpet and just fly? You don't think about the people who voted for you? If they wanted to vote the other political party, why did they not cast their vote? Maybe sometimes it's not even about the party, but about your personality, and that's why they casted their vote. Maybe because your party itself doesn't even have an ideology, and it was based on your person and what they believe in, and then you just turn your back. I feel like if you ask me, even though I'm not supposed to have an opinion, I think that it's big betrayal, and that there's no integrity. And for anybody who defects, you trust somebody who tells you, oh, I'm here, you vote for me. Tomorrow they are red, next tomorrow they are green, and next tomorrow they are blue. Can you trust that kind of a person? No, I don't. You can't trust, because there's no consistency. There's no consistency in any form. And as much as we would like not to believe it, it does really have an impact. But this is a point where I'd like to hear from you. I mean, enough of the ranting or the talking, if you say. Okay, so let's have you share your thoughts right now. What do you think about these defections? What are your thoughts? The numbers to send your messages to is 081-8038-46 and 63, 081-8038-46 and 63. SMS, WhatsApp to that number. You can also call the phone lines 070-25007749 or 070-1424 and 24 and 20. Let us hear what you have to say about defections. Do you think that you can actually hold these leaders accountable? Okay? I'd like to hear your thoughts. At this point in time, we'll just take a quick break, and when we return, we're hoping to connect with our guests. We hear that the network is very terrible, unfortunately. Very, very terrible connection, and we can't have our guests connect. It's so sad, and that's the thing. You go to other climbs. Me, I haven't seen, at least I have. I've experienced other climbs. I've not experienced this one. But we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Oh, well, thanks for staying tuned. It's Ways, in case you're tuned in and you're wondering, and we're talking about defections in the National Assembly, how it's affecting, how it will affect the National Assembly, how it will affect the people. And what are your thoughts? I'd like to hear from you at this point in time. Unfortunately, we're unable to have our guests connect due to the internet and network situation. Hopefully, we'll have this conversation some other time. But here is where you and I have to converse. Join the conversation now and send an SMS or WhatsApp to the number 081-803846 and 63. That's the number to send your messages to, SMS and WhatsApp to that number. You can also call the number 070-250077 and 49 or 0701 42 and 42 and 420. That's the number to send your messages to. So let me hear from you. I mean, for instance, especially you that casted your vote for, it necessarily might not be a lawmaker, it probably might just be a governor, whoever. If you've casted your vote before and you find out that who you casted your vote for, a red, now became a blue, or a yellow became a green, I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think it's possible to hold them accountable, these elected officials? Let's hear your thoughts. But let's look at what the law says. The Nigerian Constitution, if you look at it, Section 68, subsection 1 and G part of it, and 109, 1 and G part of it states that a lawmaker must vacate their seat upon defection unless there is a division within the party. But most times, okay, so even this part of the Constitution, do we have a caller now? Hello? Okay. So even this part of the Constitution, so I'd like to read it again. So the Nigerian Constitution, Section 68, subsection Section 1G and Section 09, Section 1G again, states that as a lawmaker, before you vacate the seat upon defection and all of that, it has to be upon the reason of a division in the party. So that conflict, the party is not together, that should be the reason that you should defect. Again, I'm hoping that we can also understand what the law, the recent electoral law says about defection. I do not have that information. I probably would have, just referenced it. However, division clause is often exploited and vaguely interpreted, and that's why lawmakers claim irreconcilable difference. Because I'm asking already, because every other time you hear people say, oh, there's a lot of crisis and all of that. So I ask, all the crises that you have in your family, all the fights that you have with your sibling and your husband and your wife and your brother and your business partner, why don't you just vacate? But you don't. When it comes to the people who casted their vote and trusted you, and trusted maybe the ideology, I'm not even sure if there's an ideology, but for whatever reason, they believe in your party, and for all of the stories that you've told them, they say, oh, we're going to go with party red and party, XYZ and whatever it is. Then you just turn your back and become yellow and green. Do you think about them? Do you even have a conscience? As another one. But the big question now is, as a citizen, what do you think that you can do, right? This is where I like to hear your thoughts. So I'm going to go through the numbers again: 081-8038-46 and 43. 081-8038-46 and 63. I take that number again: 081-8038-46 and 63. SMS, WhatsApp to that number. Have you felt about defections, especially with lawmakers defecting? What do you think? Do you think that they can be held accountable? How have you felt about it, that you voted for a red and then from red they became yellow or blue or green, right? 070250077 and 49 or 0701 424 and 24 and 20. Let's hear what you have to say. Now, I'm asking, as a citizen of a Federal Republic of Nigeria, wherever it is that you are, do you think that you can hold your representatives, your lawmakers, accountable? Can you track your representative? Do you know your senators? How can you track them? That's the question. Because it looks as if they show up like the moon. After every 4 years, that's when you get to see them. And I don't know if this is actually a very nice thing to say here, but see, if you want, whatever you want to do, I believe in the Bible. So I read the Bible. So I will come from this point now. Even the Bible says that whatever you want to do, whatever your hands find to do, you should do it well. So I even want to believe that even if you want to sell your conscience, even when you want to, because again, I have asked the question, at what point, what makes you cast your vote for the people that you cast your vote for? Is it the things, the ideologies of the party? Is it the personality of these representative or the individual that is projected as a flag bearer? What makes you cast your vote for the people that you cast your vote for, these elected representatives, these politicians, the lawmakers that we have, the governors and the senators? Or is it the currency of the naira? Is it that one? I need to know. Because if this is the currency, how then do you track them down? They show up after every 4 years, like the moon. Even the moon shows up, does not wait 4 years before it shows up. That's the next time you saw them. So the last time you saw them was in 2023, even you yourself. Don't you think that if you want to collect money, if you want to sell yourself, don't you think you should sell yourself well? You just collect 5,000 votes, 5,000 naira. So, because I would never understand when you collect 5,000 naira to vote, somebody comes to tell you, oh, well, they're going to give you 5,000. And it's not even the leader of, the senator, to be, or whoever is canvassing, or the flag bearer. The senator, the representative, because some of them have been senators before, so they come again and again. They are not the ones that are coming to you, so they have like middlemen, or middlemen that come to you and they tell you, don't worry, we'll give you money. You don't even bargain. You don't ask. They tell you, I will give you money. You give you when? How? You've not even seen the money. You just jump. You just go because you hear money. How much is the money? You don't even ask. And sometimes we find out that this money is nothing to write home. 5,000 naira in 2025. Ask yourself, what can 5,000 naira do for you? Can you comfortably eat a plate of food that contains all the 6 classes of nutrients, 5,000 naira, how long would it sustain you? Even if you eat it one day, what will you eat the next day? That one day, are you even sure it will have meat? Maybe you will have more. So, again, you know, so I really don't know. Sometimes it's very difficult to have all of these conversations. So I ask you again, is it possible for you to track the senators? Is it possible for you to track your representative? How can you hold them accountable when you yourself, you have sold yourself short? You have sold your conscience, because you know how it is that if you have sold yourself short, you don't have the mind. Let's come back to the streets and the parliament. You don't have the liver. It's not there. You cannot. Because you know you cannot. You've collected 5,000 already. You are sold. Now, again, there's also, you know, questions about demanding transparency and asking your lawmaker to publicly explain any defection, really. Lawmakers that you collected 5,000 from without even seeing them, they are not the ones that gave you the 5,000. Apparently, maybe the money was even 100,000, which is not even anything, because 100,000 cannot even sustain you. I don't know how you do it. It can't sustain you in 1 hour, in less than 1 hour. You cannot survive with 100,000 naira. So don't even think that is an amount of money. No, it's nothing, right? But then you have collected that amount, and so you are now asking your lawmakers to publicly explain their defection. How? Even myself, I ask you, why are you asking me that? You have no rights. You have no guts. You have no moral justification. Shame. Anyway, I don't even know if you have shame. Because where do you start from to now say, oh, I want you to come and... So let's set an example. Party Red, right? There's a Party Red. Candidate Red was projected in Party Red. And then it came through. Whether they have an ideology now, this is also coming because we're also part of the problem. For every other time, we're very quick on blaming our leaders. But I say, I am very different. I don't blame nobody. I think that we are the problem. Until we change as a people, then we're never going to really have the change that we truly deserve. Because we are the problem. But we are very quick to point our fingers and accuse others of being the problem. No, they're not the problem. We all are the, including myself. We are the problem. So I'm painting this scenario now that there's a Party Red, and this Party Red, they have projected a certain flag bearer in the Party Red to be like a senator representing your constituency 1, 2, 3, and all of that. And so in your particular state. And so it's like, go up. And then now, when this particular flag bearer comes, because they don't have any substance, they don't have any principle, even the party bearer himself does not have any value or principle or anything that they stand for. They don't believe in anything as a human being. Anything goes for them. So they come to you with that kind of mindset. They might not come to you directly to give you the 5,000 or the 100,000, but then they have foot soldiers they have recruited who also do not stand for anything and do not believe in anything. So they come to you. And you also, because you don't even think about the tomorrow, you don't see your life, you think you would die. You are just hungry for one day. It's because one day you have not eaten, so you think you're going to die the next minute, right? And so you don't even think outside of that immediate and the current problem that you're faced with. Boom! So you collect the 5,000 naira, and maybe sometimes they give you a sachet of salt with a little bit of few seasoning. You know, the seasoning that I don't want to mention because that would be brand projection, but seasoning is seasoning, you know what I mean? Salt, seasoning, they can be very nice to give you that. If you cup of rice and you take it joyfully and you go away. So you, tell me how, when this flag bearer in Party Red now decides to defect to Party Yellow, you will now go and ask the lawmaker. Do you think you can go and ask the lawmaker and say, Party Red flag bearer, I casted my vote for you. I did all of this. How could you have defected from red to yellow? Yellow is not the color I like. And you know, I don't stand for the yellow. I don't believe in the yellow, or I don't, you know. So explain to me why you're leaving Party Red to yellow. Can you do that? Don't you think you saw your right already? No, you did. You have no rights. You cannot question. It's gone. Not till it's the 5,000 naira, the salt and the seasoning. That's what it is. That's why you cannot ask. So they will just defect, and you're there, you murmur, the highest you do, you go on Twitter and murmur, and that's all. You know. And so, again, with, you know, saying let's demand accountability from the community, consultation before such decisions are making, have the community themselves not gathered together and also are they not the one that have mobilized? Have they not the one that have also canvassed you and encouraged you to say, hey, this red, see what you don't even think. Reasoning is gone. So you go ahead. So do this community. Can we ask, can community say, oh, there should be consultation before such decisions are made? I don't know if you understand. Because a clear conscience, they say, fears no what again? No, you complete it now. It's gone. So what you've done, you've already sold your rights. You've already sold everything. There's no moral justification. You don't have the right to ask. It's gone. And that's because sometimes we ourselves, as those who are casting our votes, the voters, we also need to be on the other side of the defense. Until you understand that power really lies in your hand, forget all that's been said. You have been made to believe that you are not, you know, you are insignificant in the equation of election, of our democracy. And that's the lie, because it is a lie. It is what has been sold. And you have believed that particular narrative that has been sold, and you're flying with it because you believe that, oh, you're not. No, you are. They know you're powerful. That's why they come to you every other time. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you think that you don't matter, why is it that every other election cycle, they make so much effort to be in your faces? Don't you think? Because every other time I have met people, because, I mean, every time I meet anyone, we literally will probably have a conversation, and somehow it might just, you know, center around the country and the people. And I'll say, oh, no, we don't, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't vote. Oh. I say, oh, you don't have any rights. Because you don't have any right. If you've never voted in an election, please, when people are complaining about governance and the issue of governance, don't say anything, right? If they're saying the senator, don't keep quiet. Don't say, truly, because you don't have any right to say anything. You are part of the problem. Now you will give an excuse that, oh, no, we don't have any right as a people. The question is, oh, we don't have any right. Oh, our votes don't count. Who told you that? It's a lie that's been sold. And so you see perception. Perception is very great. It's greater than facts. The facts will be there, but perception. So they made you. So I ask you again, have you ever wondered, if you think that your votes don't count, it doesn't matter, why is it that every other election time, election cycle, let's already see the whole drama that's going on. 2027 is not here. Let's remind ourselves, we're in 2025. We just finished. Today is the 30th day in June. So we've just done the half, you know, first half, they would say, of 2025. So we still have another half to go. It's just 2025. So there's 2026 before 2027. We're already talking about 2027. And there's so much that's going on. Now you keep on telling yourself, which is a lie, that, oh, your votes doesn't count. I'm not, they will always do what they do. It doesn't matter. I don't bother myself. On the election day, you play football. You just watch whatever you want to watch, stream movies, chill, eat popcorn, because you think that, you know, miracle will fall from the sky. The angels will come and deliver goods and the currency and then you lie. That's a very fat lie, right? The truth is, if you do not matter, so what's the essence? The billboards. Who do you think that they are doing the billboards for? To read? The spirits? With all the flyers and all the conversation that is going, all the where the campaigns, who are they doing it for? It's because you matter. But you have failed to realize that you matter. No, we don't matter. And so it's not it. We have to be determined to do the right thing. We have to understand. I don't even think that any other person would have to educate us. Like, you have to wait for a set of people. Because when we say engage in civic education, who is going to engage in the civic education? Or is it the politicians that want to come and educate you so that you know you're right? So that you now know what the right thing to do and not do it? Or is the government? Or because at the end of the day, it's a circle. So I think that this is where, I would just let it slide. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hear from our guest tonight. Hopefully, we're able to, connect, with him some other time, hopefully in the nearest future. But if you're unable to connect with us, maybe the network is also a problem to you, because the network can also be a problem. I'd like that you subscribe to our YouTube channel first off. It's at Official Upgrade TV, so you can drop your comments and interact further with us. Drop a comment about this topic or any other one. Drop a comment. Most importantly, all you need to do is follow us on all our social media platforms. And remember to like, share, and comment as well. Now, invite your friends. So it's not for just you. You can just also invite your friends to subscribe and watch the show and follow us. If you miss our quote for today, this is what it says: that politicians lack clear principles. They cheaply stand for nothing, but they fall for anything that leads to power. That's the much that we can take at this point in time. Thank you so much for being part of the show tonight. All things being equal, I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night. My name is Mercy Eboko.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.